I've been teaching guitar for over 16 years, and I know that for beginners, changing chords smoothly is very hard. But with a few tips, my students are learning to do it in a few days. I'm Jake, and I'm going to teach you how to change chords smoothly, and at the end, I'm going to give you a bonus tip to make it even easier that you can add right now without any extra practice. We'll start with the easiest technique, take it to the next level, and then I will give you the bonus tip that you can implement right away. Technique number 1 is anchor fingers. If we take a simple chord, E minor, and we change to G, we can leave our first finger in the exact same position. Notice I don't lift up my pointer finger. That is an anchor finger. It stays anchored to the fretboard while we change. Anytime we can identify one of these anchor fingers, it's going to make changing chords much more simple. So what we want to do is exactly what I did. We strum our first chord, lift up all our fingers but our anchor finger, move to our next chord, leaving our anchor finger down. Because we don't have to search out an entirely new chord, it makes changing that much easier. So your first step to smooth chords is to find chords that have these common fingers, these anchor fingers, and work on changing back and forth between them. What happens when our chord doesn't share an anchor finger? Like E minor and D. I use a technique called target fingers. I pick one finger in the second chord to target getting in the right spot first, and then I fill in the rest of the chord. Watch me do this going to D. I targeted my middle finger on second fret of the thinnest string, and then I laid down my other two fingers once I got that into place. We can use this going back to the E minor as well, targeting our pointer finger. This works no matter how complicated the chords are or how big the jump becomes. We can always use a target finger to get set up and fill in the rest of the chord. It can also help us memorize the chords because instead of memorizing the whole shape, we only have to land the one finger, which jogs our memory to playing the rest of the chord. Now, I promised you a bonus tip that would make strumming easier basically instantly. When we're strumming, instead of waiting till we've strummed the very last strum before we go to the next chord like this, causing us to have to snap right to that chord, what we can do is we can start leaving the first chord early, like this. If you noticed, I'm going to slow it down. I lifted up and started moving to my D chord before I finished strumming. My last strum was just the guitar strings open. And while you can tell I left the chord early, it doesn't sound bad. And it certainly sounds less bad than missing the next chord. When I play it faster, it's even less noticeable. This can help us change chords much more smoothly, and it doesn't take much practice. You can just start changing a little bit before your final strum to give yourself time to get set up to strum that next chord perfectly. One last thought, you don't have to learn guitar all on your own. Join me for free at school.com/guitar in my free course and community with over 1,000 other guitar players who are learning and making progress together. I will see you on the inside.